I think most people have some piece of fiction that they personally relate to. A fictional story that simply hits you, that makes you feel something you've never felt before once you finish it, and a show that simply makes you feel understood. Fiction is a way for people to forget about their present reality and relax, whether it's watching an action movie or a slice of life anime. Most of us go through anime, finish one, and say, yeah, that was fun, and move on to the next one. But when that one show comes on, it hits you. It hits you bad. I don't think there's a show that hit me more than Oregairu. I love Oregairu so much that I made this video as a love letter to it. That's just absurd considering how incredibly lazy I am with everything, but I wanted to do this for some time now because Oregairu made me feel understood and made me feel less lonely. It made me feel like someone understood my problems and gave me a bit of hope that perhaps things shouldn't stay this way for me. Perhaps I should change sometimes instead of being content with my unhappiness. I don't think anyone will like Oregairu if they don't like the characters. Oregairu puts its main focus into its characters, but I think most people can relate to some character from the show. That's because Oregairu is one of the most realistic shows out there. Every single character that's ever introduced feels real, because in truth, they are written like real people. They don't feel like they're introduced just to be used as a way to move the plot and to never be seen again. Characters are introduced and forgotten, they feel real and act real, like genuine people. Even someone like Tobe, who is pretty much the definition of a side character, doesn't feel like he's there just to be a clown in the show. He acts like a real person despite his goofy side. Just like all of us act one way in public and the other with our family and close friends. Tobe is superficial just like his friend group, which is filled with fake people. We all have personas that we put on in public because deep down, we don't want anyone to know who we truly are, nor is it appreciated in today's society. And Tobe is a perfect representative for that. Ebina, Hayama, Miura, Tobe, despite them being side characters, they are realistic characters that don't feel unnecessary or replaceable, because they truly aren't. Even when there is someone who claims he doesn't have any personas, that claims he hates the lies of today's relationships, even he has one. Hachima Hikigaya is personally one of my favorite characters in fiction overall, alongside Araragi Koyomi from Monogatari. He is a lifeless loner with zero self-worth, a self-deprecating man that has never been shown kindness or honesty. He isn't a loner because he's forced to be one by society, he's forcing himself to be a loner, because that way he avoids getting hurt and also avoids hurting others. Over the years, his self-worth just gets spiraling down until it bottomed out. Thus, he keeps himself away from people, saying how it's all fake and superficial, and how human relationships are so fragile because of their superficial nature. Of course, this is all justification for his loneliness. His loneliness is his persona, because we know how Hachiman acts with someone he loves, for example, Komachi. The same way humans use their personas to attract people, Hachiman uses it to turn people away from him. But we know that Hachiman cares. It hurts him. Throughout the series, we see him continuously sacrifice himself and hurt himself for the sake of others. Because in the end, he wants to help people. Hachiman is a kind soul, but he's been so damaged by everyone in his life that this is the only way he knows how. Sure, it might be the most efficient way to solve a problem, but that doesn't mean it's the best way. It's self-destructive. People critique him for it many times, but he simply doesn't want to listen because he is fully aware of it. Hachiman is aware of everything. He is a fairly perceptive person, and even though he might be aware of something, he won't do anything about it. He knows how wrong his actions are and how truly twisted his personality and outlook on life are, but still won't do anything about it. He lies to himself on a surface level, but he is also completely aware of those lies. This is alright. I love being alone. I don't need anyone to rely on. This is how Hikegai deceives himself to make him feel like this is alright, to give himself the illusion that this is fine. It's not like this is exclusive to Hachiman. Yukino's self-worth is also not very big, but it's due to different circumstances. It's because the environment she was raised in, constantly trying to prove herself to her mother. She doesn't feel like she's independent, as she really isn't. It only seems that way at the start, but that's because she was always alone. She always follows in someone's footsteps, whether it's Haruno's or Hachiman's. And as the series goes on, everyone keeps relying on Hachiman in the service club, and when she tries to do everything alone during the culture festival, she collapses. It's just hit after hit after hit on her pride, and it starts subconsciously affecting her as she starts relying on Hachiman more and more. Eventually, it reaches a bottling point for her where she feels like she not only relies on Hachiman too much, resulting in her trying to do things alone, but also feel like she's a burden for the relationship of Yui and Hachiman, and thus tries to distance herself from them for those two reasons, which backfires. However, this is a topic for a different video, which will most likely come out when I talk about the codependency stuff that Haruno says. Her self-worth wavers as she always tries proving herself that she's independent, even though in reality she isn't. Yui is also fairly insecure in herself, but I can't necessarily say she has no self-worth. However, she did end up being very self-destructive in Season 3 as she knew the answer that Hachiman had and yet still tried to help her friends, which obviously damaged her. It's self-destructive, and her only way of coping with it is getting some time with Hachiman, like the scene where she pretends to fall asleep. It's kind of the only thing she has left there. Yui has always been the bridge that connected Yukino and Hachiman together, and well, she ended up being the bridge that got them together, despite that hurting her. It's hard to leave your comfort zone. It's hard to change your lifestyle after so many years of having it. But it's Hachima's meeting with Yukino and Yui that starts changing him. He starts to realize some stuff about himself. Or, to put it better, maybe remembers some stuff that he wanted before. Stuff that was so out of reach for him that he has given up on years back. He wanted a genuine relationship. A relationship that is unlike Tobe and Hayama's friendship. A relationship that hurts. A relationship where they agonize together, struggle, overcome, and smile afterwards together. A relationship that isn't in stasis like most friend groups today, where they are willing to take the risk even if it puts their friend group in danger. He doesn't care if it hurts. He doesn't care if it's hard. He wants honesty more than anything in life because that's the one thing he has never received in life. Hell, he isn't even sure if something like that is possible, because in reality, in today's society, something like that is incredibly rare. Just as he said, he doesn't want to be understood. He doesn't want to be accepted. He wants to understand everything. Even he is aware that that wish is out of reach and dictatorial. It's an absurd wish, but he still wants to understand. Because in reality, you might be able to understand someone's thoughts without talking it out, but not someone's emotions. Emotions are complex and human bonds are complicated. That's one of the themes the show focuses on. Hiratsuka told Hachiman himself, Hachiman doesn't understand emotions. Hachiman didn't realize how badly he didn't want to lose Yui and Yukino, because that was his first ever chance to get the bond he always truly desired. Although that bond is proven to go a bit wrong, however, that is a topic for a different video which might or might not come out. The codependency one. I definitely will talk about the relationship these three have in a different video because that's a fairly long story. I want to stick to the core of this video, self-worth. Hachiman is an incredibly kind soul that's been pretty much spit out by everyone. A hypocritical, self-deprecating, and lonely individual. And that's where I find myself in him. I despise myself. In fact, I've never had an ounce of love towards myself. It's partially people that are responsible for that, but it's also me. Over the years, I've kept spiraling down and hating myself more and more. I've lived a lonely life, a life without anyone. because that way I could avoid hurting myself and others. I felt as if nothing good comes out involving yourself with me. I lived an unhappy life. But I was content with that because no one got hurt. Everything that ever happened, I blamed myself for it. I kept punishing myself the moment I felt happiness because I genuinely thought I deserved none. I'm the washout of the class, of the family, of the group. It was always me. Whenever someone tried to befriend me, I would slowly distance myself from them. I've had trouble finding meaning in life. I still am, and that's fine because I'm a fairly young person. I felt like my meaning was to be used by others because it truly felt like that was the only way I contributed to society. I've continuously criticized everyone because of how fragile their relationship is, but in reality, I did that out of jealousy. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be told that it's not okay to live this way. The way I lived my life, it wasn't life. It was simply dragging my feet through the mud aimlessly. I think most of you can understand what I'm trying to say here. What I gotta hit me. The characters are all, in a way, reflections of myself, especially Hachima. I'd say him and Hararagi are the most relatable characters to me. That's why Oregairu hit me as much as it did. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to sound like, oh, well, I'm such a cool anime character in real life. That's truly not the point here. I opened this channel to make this video. I put my lazy ass to work to make this video. There's a reason as to why Oregairu is my first video. It's because it genuinely is one of those shows that affected me really, really hard. It's a show I definitely needed. And now that I finally started to grow as a person for the first time in my life, it gives me hope that perhaps even a loser like me might have a future where I can treat myself as a person. I didn't edit anything from that last part. I wanted my emotions to be portrayed as raw as possible. It's just something that I wanted to do, and well, I think I've mainly opened this channel as a place to vent because I am, to be honest, horrible at speaking and portraying my emotions. I suck at expressing myself, and that's partially the reason why I made this video and this channel overall. It's a way to vent and a way to improve myself, and I hope that by doing this I can maybe affect some other people that have struggles, the same struggles as me. So this is my first ever video on this channel. I have no clue when the next video is going to come out or if it will be anytime soon, as not only do I have school to worry about right now, but I also spend a lot of my free time doing everything but making videos. Originally I didn't even plan on making a channel right now. I thought I was doing it in 2 years, but I couldn't wait and I really wanted to make one. I don't plan on making money from YouTube as it's simply something I do out of passion. Whether the next video comes out soon or not, I'll see, but so far I can't guarantee it. Still, I really hope you did enjoy it. Please give me your feedback about the video, as I am a beginner at making videos and I really want to improve at it. Again, this is my first ever video, so I suck at everything that a YouTuber shouldn't suck at. But, hopefully with time I will improve, and the technical issues that this video has, or really any issue that it has, hopefully they won't repeat itself later in the future. If you guys disagree with what I said, please point out. If you find flaws in my writing, do tell me, as I do want to improve since I've never done this before. Hopefully I will see you in the near future. See ya.